Hello. I am James, and I live in Manchester in the UK. And you're listening to English with a Brew, a podcast where I talk about different day-to-day topics to help you learn English the most natural way possible. And that is only by listening to it. And if you want to support this podcast, read transcripts, and get exclusive access to more episodes, go to patreon.com/English with a Brew. As we say in Manchester, get a brew on, and let's get started. Last episode, I talked about going on holiday, and today I am going to continue talking about the same topic, but talk less generally and more specifically about airports, a very important part of not all, but most holidays. It might be obvious, but the airport is where you need to go to take a flight or get on an aeroplane. As I said before, it's not every holiday that you need to fly in an aeroplane, but usually if you're going to a different country, you need to take an international flight. Or maybe if your country is really big, like America, the United States, or Canada, then maybe you need to take a domestic flight. And airports can be a bit stressful, especially if you are in a completely different country and you don't know or understand the language. They are very big or gigantic places with lots of people, lots of noise, and lots of security too. But by the end of this episode, you're going to know some phrases and words that can help you navigate an airport confidently or with more confidence. When you arrive at the airport, the first thing you need to do is check in. To check in, you go to the check-in desk. And there, at the check-in desk, the staff or the airline worker will check all of your documents, like your passport, maybe an email confirmation, which is the evidence that you bought your ticket. And after that, they will take your suitcases, your bags, and they will weigh them. Usually, there is a weight limit. And if your bag is too heavy, if it weighs too much, it exceeds the weight limit. And unfortunately, you will have to pay more money, a penalty fee. And after that, they print your boarding pass and give it to you. Sometimes you can check in online on their website, or on an app on your mobile phone, for example, before you get to the airport. And if you have already checked in, you only need to leave your bags at the check-in desk. Now that you have your boarding pass, you can go through security. And in security, they check your small bags or your hand luggage. Usually you need to remove any liquids, any electronics, electronical devices, like your laptop or mobile phone from your suitcase or from your jacket. The bag goes through an X-ray machine, and then you walk through the scanner, which searches your body for anything that could be or could seem suspicious. And then you can collect your bag on the other side of the X-ray machine. When you are through security, usually you have some time now to relax in the airport lounge. You only need to wait for your flight and to see which gate number you need to go to. Usually there is a big screen somewhere called the departures board or departures screen, which displays all of the information of all of the flights and their gate numbers. and it will tell you if your flight has been delayed, or if it's going to be later than expected. Or even worse, if it is cancelled and your flight is not going to come at all. After your gate number has been announced, you can go to your gate, and usually about 45 minutes before your flight is ready to depart, you can get on or board the plane. Before you board, the airport staff will check your passport again and check your boarding pass, and your boarding pass will have your seat number so you can find your seat when you get on the plane. And that's it. You're through the airport. Now you can relax because the hard part is over. The plane can't leave without you. And that's it for today's episode. I think that was quite a lot of information for one episode. So I am going to make another episode, a separate episode, to talk about flights. What actually happens when you are in the air flying. So let me know in the comments if that would be useful or not. Of course, for you. See you later. And that's everything for today's episode of English with a Brew. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did or if you didn't, and tell me which topics you'd like to hear me talk about in future episodes. And don't forget, you can read the transcript for this episode and get access to more exclusive content over on my Patreon page. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is where you are right now. Take care.